today's race. And George Ibers goes through in the first river section. He did start off first. Right behind him is number 479. That is local rider Kent Wicks on the two-stroke TM Italian-made motorcycle. Jeffrey Wallater, one of the contenders in this year's championship on that 200cc KTM. He's having a good look at the course before he commits himself to this muddy section. Well, after 85 riders have been through here, it will be rather interesting. Look at the smoke coming off that bike, or is that steam? This is Tom Borger-Hausen on bike number 313. That looks like a Kawasaki with a big fuel tank. He'll go forever with that two-stroke Kawasaki. Right, no plans there, just head for the mud. Mark Slater goes through and he's riding in the veterans class. And this is Graham McLaughlin having his first outing on the Winterberg four-stroke. Nice looking bike. Oh, big wheelie there from Graham McLaughlin. Pete Van Tonder goes through on the Yamaha, bike number 426, but it looks like a 250 two-stroke there. This is the river section as we head on towards the Lion Farm and the Coxcomb Mountains. That's Peter Tussell going through there. It looks like a Yamaha, and then right behind him, Andrew Ogden. So the riders have started off in 30-second intervals, and they'll make their way through this 200k trail. Rian Halgrain goes through. He's also riding in that vets class. That's one of the big four-stroke KTMs down through that river section towards Coxcomb Mountain. Not the ideal bike for these sort of conditions. Hubie van Molke on his KTM, another vet there. Mike Glover from Red Cherry Racing. A thumbs up from Simon Joubert. A lot of vets taking part in today's event. That is Richard Mullman, I think, on 653, and through goes Lawrence Mahoney. He's down towards that muddy section before they cross over that regional dirt road. Adrian Vanner, looks like another Winterberg. Was that a Husqvarna two-stroke? I think it actually is a Husqvarna two-stroke. Adrian Vanner then going through that mud section. Mud, glorious mud. Scott Woods, he's taking part in the regional class, and he's taking a different route through there. Elmer Simmons, one of the favorites for today's race. This is how you do it, nice and smoothly. This is not a racing stage, it's a time section, so if they get late through the section, they incur penalty points. Scott Woods goes through, and that's Denzel Tolage. He's riding in the vets class. In fact, on corrected time, he's leading at the moment in that class. That's the wild man, Daryl Curtis on the Shimwell's Yamaha. Just paddle your way through there. Daryl standing on the pegs as usual. Rian van Niekerk, this is his good friend. They ride together on these Enduros. They started 30 seconds apart. In fact, I think they started together for today's event. So we'll see them hanging out together all the way through this terrain. Barry Creel, he's not sure which way to go through the mud. It's getting deeper and deeper. Behind him, that looks like Vainant Kleinhans. He's taking part in the regional class. Greg Ballington on a 125 KTM. Wow, it sounds like that thing is four-stroking. I think, Greg, that sucked some water into your motor there. Lawrence Mahoney, he leads the 125 class, and he's leading the championship in that class as well. Leon Kempen goes through, nice little wheelie from him. You've got to watch out for those ditches that are full of water this time of the year. And that's Rob Wicks. He's been sprayed with stones by those competitors. Elmer Simmons flies through on 251, and just behind him, Ronald McClellan. He's also taking part in the national 250 class. That's Mike Platt on 32. A screaming 125 KTM flies through there. Daryl Curtis wide open, and take a look right next to where he's riding, big old ditch, and his mate just behind him, Rian van Niekerk. Remember, they did start together for today's event, so there is a few seconds between those riders. Quinton Milton comes through on the Millimore KTM. That's a 125 bike. Ooh, looking for the correct line there. It's difficult to choose your line when you're motoring along. Simon Warren, now which way is he going to go? Oh, right into the ditch. That's not the right way to take this road, Simon. Wesley Kretzmann comes through almost over the handlebars. I think they should put up some warnings there for these riders, because I can see some injuries coming a little bit later in the day. Mind you, on the second lap, they'll know which way to go through here. Well done, Wesley. This is a Jan Swanepoel, I think, bike number 46 on that Honda. He's also got stuck in the ditch. Finally made it through there. Oh, Adrian Brindell, he's riding in the support class, and it looks like he needs a lot of support to get that Kawasaki out of that ditch. And this is on towards the Otterford Forest near Hankey. Oh, big breaks there. That is Terry Ranger. And right behind him, it's Philip Visa. Number 4 goes through. That's Robbie Wicks, father and son riding in today's event. Kent went through there quite fast, Robbie. You'll have to do better than that. Mind you, the mud is getting deeper, and it is a 4-stroke TM motorcycle. Wouldn't like to get too close to another motorcycle when you're going through that mud, glorious mud. Thank goodness for novelty tires. And that's Hubie van Malke. One way to do it, Hubie, get off and push. Take a look at that clear water as these riders go through there. Graham McLaughlin comes through on that Winterberg, and just behind him, Grant May. He's taking part in the veterans class. Tom Bergerhausen, he's got through that mud section. Good way to clean your bike there, Tom. Jeffrey Wallater in the 200cc class. He's made his way up through the field. That's Peter Twissel on what looks like an old WR200 Yamaha. Another one of those TM bikes goes through there. And this is Andrew Ogden, number 1 from last year on the 200cc KTM. Simon Jabert, he's riding in the vets class as well. You can tell the vets by those red number plates. Leon Kempen, that's the way, Leon, just follow the trail. Yes, through the river you go. Rian Halgrain on an RMX Suzuki. No slowing down for him. You don't know what's under that water, though. There might be big old rocks. Lawrence Mahoney, he's leading the 125cc class. And that could be the ideal bike for today's racing. Anton Blichnout, I think he's riding in the regional class, although it says vets in the program. And that is Wayne Kleinhans. He's leading the regional class at the moment and lying 4th overall. Dean York, he's lying 2nd in the support class. Moving on to the next control section in the Otterford Forest area. And every second you're late through this section, you will incur 1 penalty point. So the idea is not to be late. Fabulous terrain for today's Castrol Winterberg Enduro. And well done for Castrol sponsoring this event once again. It's become a landmark in motor racing in South Africa. Steve Lundman goes through, and behind him his brother, I think it's Chris Lundman, and they're riding in the regional class. So take a look at the countryside in the Hankey district near Jeffreys Bay. Perhaps we should be on our surfboards just beyond those mountains today. That's Manuel Vieira riding in the support class, and coming up behind him, Elmer Simmons through that riverbed section. Elmer not taking any chances with those rocks, don't want to bend the rims or perhaps incur a puncture. Yes, that way, a lot of friendly support for those riders. Daryl Curtis, for once taking it rather easy. Behind him should be his mate, there he is, Rian van Niekerk on the KTM. On the second lap, of course, they will fly through this riverbed section. Quinton Milton goes through on the Millermore KTM, and he's lying 2nd in that 125 class at the moment. Barry Creel, he's leading the championship on bike number 265. All he has to do is finish higher than 7th place today. Checkpoint Charlie and those marshals just checking out the times as those riders come in. That is Piet van der Pfeiffer, and he's riding in the vets class. Guests of Castrol today out on the terrain taking a look at what enduro racing is all about. Graham McLaughlin, he's the first man on the road at the moment on bike number 504. Behind him, that's Tom Bergerhausen on that Kawasaki. Is that Tom trying to just pick up the number there? And this is Grant May on the 4-stroke KTM, not the ideal bike for today's type of racing. Stephen Faree behind him there, and Mark Slater in the vets class, bike number 754. Pete van Tonder, who we saw earlier on the 426 Yamaha. In fact, it's a 250cc 2-stroke, and he's lying 11th in the national class at the moment. George Ibers, the man who started off today's proceedings on the Yamaha. So he slipped down the field somewhat. He's about 14th at the moment. Jeffrey Wallater taking his time through this section. Remember, if you're 1 second late, you incur 1 penalty point. Enduro is, of course, totally different to off-road racing, where it's wide open all of the way. Andrew Ogden picks his way through this riverbed section. Really tricky section for today's racing. Rocks, branches, trees, it's all here. Lawrence Mahoney obviously enjoying himself on the 125 Yummy, and that's Mike Glover. He's lying 3rd in the vet class at the moment with that KTM. Rian Halgrain, he's also in the vet class, lying 7th at the moment in that class. Wayne Kleinhans, he's 3rd overall, and it sounds like the exhaust pipe has broken on the KTM. And that's Sean Doveton. He's lying 8th in the 250 national class at the moment, but a long way still to go for today's Enduro. Denzel Talage, he's the first vet. He goes through. Right behind him, Elmer Simmons. And bike number 209 slides down the hill there. Whoa, look at Daryl Curtis. Slides through on his Yamaha. We're looking for his mate, Rian van Niekerk, but just behind him, that's Anton Bluchnout. So Daryl's pulled a bit of a timeout on his mate, Rian van Niekerk there. One of those Husabergs goes through, and that's Leon Kempen in the support class, battling his way through this really tricky section. Rian van Niekerk showing us how to take things fairly easy at the moment. The ideal way to ride through this section is stand up on the pegs and let the bike do all of the work. If you sit down, well, it bounces all over the place, and your balance, believe it or not, you feel much more through your feet than you do through your backside. See what I mean? Up towards the motocross section, just before the refuel point, Ronald McClellan goes through in the 200cc class. According to the lap charts, he's lying 5th at the moment in that class, but he's winding it through the motocross section. Obviously enjoys this part of the racing. And this is Greg Ballington. Whoa, Greg, nice one on a 125 KTM. That big hole almost caught him out there, so you don't want to crash in that motocross section.
How's it going, Ken?
Yeah, all right. Bit wet out there. Very wet. It's pretty muddy. It was pretty muddy back there, but yeah, we managed to get through. It'll be interesting to see if the other guys get through behind me now. Otherwise, we're having a good ride today.
Quite a cool check, huh? You've got it all planned for you.
Tell you what, at the house, at the racetrack, she does everything.
Muddy out there, buddy. But I didn't get stuck. Having fun, eh? Bike's going well. Feeling good. Never know though, eh? Until the end.
Andrew, you forgot this, baby.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yes, you know? Couldn't race without it.
Oh, don't promise it.
How's it going, man?
Oh, hey, it's unbelievable, the ride. Having good fun, eh? Can't wish for weather. Look at the weather, the rain, it's beautiful.
Barry, how's it going?
Not good. Had a big crash in the last special. So, broke a few things. It's not so good, but I should get, still didn't lose too much time, so Daryl's out now, so I need 7th overall for the championship, so I just got to get to the finish. Should be okay.
Oh wow, I got stuck in the mud at the back there, but a lot of mud, but the ride is fantastic. A lot of climbs, rocks, and the times are getting short now, so we're going to have to get on the gas a bit, but otherwise it's going well.
I got a tale of woe. Problem with my motorbike, just a little technical problem. It's put me out, so I'm just going to watch the guys and you know, see who the best man is today.
Only one person with a bigger nose than Daryl, and that's Jaime. Anyway, Lawrence Mahoney, the leader of the 125 class, heads down towards that finish line. A victory wave from Lawrence. He's had a great day out there. Rian van Niekerk. Well, he's lost his teammate out on the track, but he's winning the 200cc class. A great ride from Rian on that 200cc KTM. And this is Wayne Kleinans. He's winning the regional class and 4th overall. Incredible stuff from him. Elmer Simmons, 250cc and open class leader and overall winner for today's event. A nice victory wheelie at the end of today's Castrol Winterberg Enduro. Now, thanks to Castrol for putting up with us for a couple of days as we filmed this event, and there are your official results. Elmer Simmons, the open class winner. Denzel Talage, veteran class. Rian van Niekerk leads the 200 class. Wayne Kleinans in the regionals. First in the 125s, Lawrence Mahoney. And Steve Lundman winning the support class for the Castrol Winterberg Enduro. Roll on February next year for the next Castrol Winterberg.